Alright guys, this is probably one of the most talked about episodes most requested episodes I've ever had for my show. And it is competing in the ROC pre-April format. Now what the ROC pre-April format is no tactics, which means no resources, no relics, no special objects. That's any object token with a little gear symbol on the bottom. No bystander tokens, no horde tokens, no theme teams, no ATAs. As well, there's another rule on top of that. No entity possession, and no figures bigger than a peanut base. That means, of course, the peanut base being what the entities come on, which a base that covers 2 spots on the board. Nothing bigger than that on the board. The format itself, it's been going since right after DragonCon. So every ROC tournament that's been the major ROC, which has been a super qualifier or regional, of which there's been multiple super qualifiers and 1 regional so far, has been running this format. It is a tough format if you are familiar with and prefer to play in the major full open, more modern format. It's a little trickier to work around because sometimes you get used to certain things that exist, such as resources and whatnot. What it is, as well, for people who've been playing the game for a long time, it's kind of a kickback to the old way of things. And there's an old way of thinking we used to have, which was the pit crew. Now, I believe I did an episode on the idea of the pit crew coming back. And part of that was the fact that so many teams, even with the resources, were playing a certain number of characters at very low points. Traditionally, the pit crew, of course, is any number of characters that form a function at the lowest possible point cost. For instance, Blind Owl is probably the lowest point perplexer you're going to have. But of course, she's more limited than perplexers generally get. As well, characters like the Blue Lantern Recruit, a little bit more versatile in their role, come with enhancement, come with TK, come with perplex. As well as second click in, they come with TK and probability control. It depends on what your team is really needing at the time. A very versatile figure. Pit crew as well, Weasel. The enhancement for all characters that could possibly need enhancement, and a minor little bit of probability control type thing that he has. A very cool figure. Also, I haven't seen her a lot, which is a little bit of a shame. I think she's really good, would be Sister Cersei. 66 points, she brings TK, willpower, probability control, perplex. I think I've talked about a lot of these characters at length, but the reason I'm re-mentioning them now is that the ROC format takes away the resources. It takes away the easy ways of getting these abilities. So you now have to spend points on figures. And what makes this different from a resource is that they're on the board and vulnerable, right? As well, some characters actually become less viable as they're not as good as they are without the resource. And other characters become more viable because they're just amazing in what they do. One figure I want to point out that has actually done very well in ROC formats, made a lot of top 8s, has been Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner has made a lot of noise. He's a little soft to start, but that's okay because when he takes that full 3 damage or whatever, 2 damage on the first click, he's now on this beastly click that makes him very, very potent. And one of the things is that there's not a lot of resources giving out a lot of free powers that can give out the answer to this. Your answers have to be on the board with your team. And as a whole, characters perform differently as well. The ROC doesn't stop constructs from occurring. The reason they don't stop constructs from occurring is there's only limited ways you can get constructs on the board. Either a character that lets you bring a construct with them, or the power batteries. Now, since the power batteries are out, your only option are characters that let you bring the constructs. Characters like Kyle Rayner can come in with a shield on him to add even more potency to the idea that he's already pretty hard to hit with super senses and 18 defense. Characters like Abin Sur have been making their mark because he's probably the min-maxer's dream in the fact that he comes with relatively amazing stats for a character of 50 points. His big weakness, of course, is you're going to have to take the hit, because if you don't take the hit the first time and you make somebody re-roll it, it's going to be easier for them to hit him. As well, characters like Shatterstar have been making noise because the resources don't add certain things that might help you deal with a character like this that aren't going to exist now. And he becomes significantly more potent to deal with, especially the ability to move across the board in a single bound. But That's not to say that one-man armies haven't made some noise. One-man army that made noise, well, it's kind of a two-man army, the Hal Sinestro duo. It has made some noise. It was top 4, I believe, in one of the ROCs that recently got held. It's all a matter of knowing what to play. And of course, this weekend, the reason I bring this up is, of course, our sponsor, Majestix, CCG, Comics, Collectibles, and Games, is holding the 1K Regional, the weekend being January 10th. It's a major event. The regionals are more prize-filled, and more points are handed out at these tournaments than, say, your normal Super Qualifier. Now, I'm going to go over specifically what's going on in that tournament, but one thing I do want to mention, and one of the things I have to share, is when you go to a tournament, I've mentioned bring your play kit, I've mentioned the environment in major tournaments, but one thing worth mentioning, and a lot of people don't think about, it's probably a good idea to bring something like a water bottle. If you're anything like me, nerves crush you, and you can't eat, but you kind of want to hydrate at all times. The reason you want to hydrate is, I find, if I get too thirsty, I don't think well. I can go days without eating, but if I don't drink enough water, that's when I start to get a little delirious. And if you're not eating, if you're like me, I don't suggest not eating. If your nerves are better than mine and you can handle it, please have regular meals. Bring some snacks, some jerky. Jerky's always a safe bet. Even I can handle a little bit of jerky in the middle of a major tournament. But these are going to be long slogs. You're going to want some water. If you're a caffeine drinker, maybe a thermos of coffee. Or if you're like me, grab some Red Bull to start. You might need an extra little jolt in the middle of the tournament. But don't forget, too much caffeine, not enough food, not enough of the right stuff is going to affect how you function as a human, because it's a little trickier when you start getting jittery and you haven't been, consuming the right things. Now, I'm going to go on now, because this is a sponsored cast by Team Majestix. It's worth mentioning their ROC and what's going on. So, let's start with Saturday, January 10th, which is, of course, the main event. And that's going to be held at... Now, they have this event running across 2 days. This is the Saturday and the Sunday. The Saturday is going to be at the Costa Mesa Women's Club at 610 West 18th Street. That's in Costa Mesa, California. Zip code 92627. Okay, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm not familiar with how the zip code system works for you guys. I know for postal codes in our areas, they definitely help with Google Maps. So if that helps, I hope you got that information. And then on the Sunday, the second day, it's going to be held at Majestix, the store itself, at 2075 Newport Boulevard, Suite 104, Costa Mesa, California, zip code 92627. Well, both zip codes are the same. Okay, maybe zip codes don't make that much of a add. But that's going to be running from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the Sunday, and it's 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the Saturday. 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the Saturday. That's 13 hours of gaming. Keep yourself hydrated, guys. Be safe, okay? I'm sure there'll be food and drinks at the venue as well, and I suggest grabbing some of those while you're there, because, always support the venues, and food is good, right? You don't want to travel and go all over the place and get lost, especially if you're not from the area. Now, there's a couple things we're going to go through. First, of course, being the main event. Registration time for the main event on the Saturday at the Women's Club is 9 a.m. to 9:45 p.m. Round 1 starts at 10 a.m. The format is of course the 300-point, no tactics, no entity possession, no figure base. The standard ROC pre-April ROC format. Cost entry is $30, $25 if you're pre-registered before 11 p.m. on January 9th. I believe that is Friday. You can do that through, I believe, PayPal. We'll have information possibly for that a little later. Of course, it's a modern age. All sets from Marvel 10th Anniversary to Flash are going to be legal. Marvel and DC sets only. That is the standard modern age format, just for those of you unfamiliar. 40-minute rounds. 5 to 6 Swiss rounds, then they cut to the top 16. Top 16 is played on Sunday at Majestix, and that's going to be playing the same team that you played in the Swiss rounds. So there's going to be no switching between day 1 and day 2. Pricing. Everybody gets it looks like there's a participation 3D relic and object LE. And 17th through 32nd place get 2 of the ROC max points, a set of dice, 2 tokens, 1 5-figure booster, and a choice between Iron Man or Teen Titans. So that's if you get kind of knocked out on day 1. Going into later on in the day, there's a co-main event, and this one is the Open Series 1K Championship. It is the 300-point Rock of Ages. They're calling this the ROC of ages or ROC of ages, because a lot of other locales call it the ROCs. I call it ROCs. It makes sense. Their podcast is called The Quarry. Don't look at me like that, Amber. I just realized that very second I said that. Now, in this case, all sets from Superman / Lord of the Rings to Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle of the Millennium Month 1 will be legal, and all sets in between except for Star Trek ships. Those things exist. 40-minute rounds, 4 to 5 rounds of Swiss, cut the top 8, which was going to be played on Sunday. 9th to 16th place in the co-main event are going to get 2 max points, 1 5-figure booster is a choice again between Iron Man and Teen Titans, as well participation, 3D objects, and relics. The side event, the Indie Championship as they call it, its registration times between 2:30 and 3:30 p.m. It's a 400-point indie tournament for $12. All sets from Gears of War 3 to Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle of the Millennium Month 1 will be legal. Indie sets only, except for Star Trek trips. So that means no Marvel, no DC.
No back.
40-minute rounds, 3 to 4 rounds of Swiss, and they cut to the top 2. Participation prize, you get a resource dial, either Gauntlet, Belt, or Phoenix Force. Pretty cool. Choose the Phoenix Force. It's really big and cool. Of course, Gauntlets are also equally awesome. First place gets Krampus. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Countertop display. Ooh. And an ROC map, which are, if I remember correctly, are those nice felt foamy maps. Really cool. Second place gets a Holiday Elf LE, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter, and some indie boosters. And third and fourth get Impossible Man or Resurrection Man, a complete Lord of the Rings OP kit, and some indie boosters. Okay, so now that's day 1. A lot going on in day 1, a lot of fun stuff. Day 2, the main event, of course, being the top 16 of the main tournament, ROC regional. And the prizes here, first place is going to be a Black Lantern Anti-Monitor Zombie Galactus, choice of 2 other Con LEs from 2013-2014. War of Light Wave 1 and War of Light Wave 2 sealed bricks, a white and black power battery box set, a War of Light OP kit figures, constructs, maps, green power battery resource, a poster, Necron Colossal, a trophy, 20 max points, championship bye to the finals at the ROC, which is the finals tournament, a set of ROC dice and 2 tokens, an ROC map, HC Realms Gold membership, and Elite Top 8 ROC hat. Wow, I want to win that tournament. Amber, send me to California. I gotta go in somebody's doggy crate. Second place gets a Shimagarath, choose the choice of the other Con LEs. Sorry, 2 other Con LEs from 2013-2014. A Dark Phoenix Cyclops Colossal LE, a Phoenix Buster Iron Man LE, a Phoenix Force Resource Dial with all 5 fragments, an AVX OP kit figures, team bases, maps, poster, 20 max points, championship by the semifinals, set of ROC dice, 2 tokens, an ROC map, HC Realms Gold membership, and Elite Top 8 ROC hat. Whew. Taking a breath here, because this is just the top 16, guys. Third place, this Impossible Man or Resurrection Man, 1 other Con LE, a Bat Cave, a utility belt with 7 items, 2 costumes, a No Man's Land OP kit figures, maps, tokens, poster, 10 max points, a set of ROC dice, 2 tokens, ROC map, Elite Top 8 ROC hat. Fourth place gets the other of the Impossible Man or Resurrection Man, 1 other Con LE. So top 4 are all getting a Con LE. A complete Infinity Gauntlet set, including the figures, maps, resource dials, items, the Thanos. 10 max points, a set of ROC dice, 2 tokens, ROC map, Elite Top 8, ROC hat. 5th to 8th place get a Con LE. Top 16 get a Con LE. I just want to point that out. A complete OP kit for either Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Superman, Legion of Superheroes, or Invincible Iron Man. 5 max points, a set of ROC dice, 2 tokens, ROC map, Elite 8, ROC hat. 9th to 16th, get a Con LE, a Flash Booster, 3 points, a set of ROC dice, and 2 tokens. Wow. So, play your butts off, guys. There's some awesome stuff to play for. The co-main event, top 8, are going to be playing for first place, Black Lantern Anti-Monitor or Zombie Galactus, a Con LE, a Sealed Fear Itself brick, a complete Book of Skulls resource with all 8 hammers. Ooh. A Fear Itself, the Mighty Scenario Pack, Fear Itself OP kit figures, maps, poster, Majestix 1K Championship Trophy, ROC map, and 10 max points. Second place gets the other of the Black Lantern or Zombie Galactus, a Con LE, a Sealed Fear Itself brick, 5 max points. Third and fourth get Giant Man Colossals, a Shumagarath Colossal, 1 Con LE, 1 Flash Booster, or 4 max points. And fifth to eighth get a complete OP kit of either Wolverine and the X-Men, Teen Titans, or Amazing Spider-Man or Batman, 3 max points, and a Con LE. And then the Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle of the Millennium Month 1 side event. It's just 200 points. Your force must be from indie sets, including any tactics. All sets from Legion Superheroes box set to Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle of the Millennium Month 1 will be legal, and all sets in between except Starship Tricks. So this is another event going on as well. Participation in this gets you the Millennium Stone. Oh, so they're actually having their month 1 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments here. So you get your Millennium Stone Resource Dial and your Millennium Puzzle 3D Object. If you have a 3-0 record, you get a Blue Eyes White Dragon LE and a Pharaoh's Throne Room map. An additional prizing, there's going to be some more Blue Eyes White Dragons LEs, some more maps, some more boosters, and or Storm credit. There's going to be Battle Royales on both days. Recent OP kit figures will be prizing. Figures are going to be snake drafted. There's going to be 4 and 8-man casual tournaments, but on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. These will fire as soon as we hit 4 to 8 players, and we'll go 2 to 3 rounds of Swiss, and everyone gets a participation LE. There's going to be 4-man pods. There's going to be a 4-man pod, a 1,000-point Colossal Clash, Silver Age. First place is the choice of Shumagarath, Batman Super Booster, or Wolverine and the X-Men Super Booster. Ooh. This is going to be no tactics, no figure higher than 500 points. You can only play figures that are larger. Only play figures that are larger than a peanut base unless they possess a colossal damage symbol. Pacific Rim figures. There's going to be another 4-man pod with... there's going to be a bunch of these. A 4-man pod with 500-point Turf War Golden Age. First place is the Streets of Gotham mini brick. Everyone gets a utility belt with some belt items in addition. You can only play one, and you can only play one and only one named figure. The rest of your force must be generics. So this is like bring a leader and your gang members. So it's like Sister Circe and the Blue Lantern recruits. What?
I want to see that tournament now.
So do I. Somebody, if you're there, please videotape that game. Or that turn that it's a 4-man pod. So please videotape that one for us. We will share it on our channel. Please, just get, oh man. Next up. 4-man pod, 600 point, bring your own set. First place is a white and black Power Lantern, black Power Battery box set. All your game elements must be from the same set, minimum 2 figures is 600 points. 8-man pods, 400 point, 2v2. First place for this one is a a Bat Cave, Joker Harley LE, Penguin Resource, utility belt with belt items and costume. All 4 players on the map are on the same map and share one starting area. Each player's team is considered friendly to... 2 on 2. But you cannot... Okay, so each player's team is considered friendly for, like, enhancement, perplex, etc., etc. But you cannot carry your teammates' figures. It seems a general rule that we kind of all use around this. It's like, who are you? Stop carrying me! Teams alternate players' turn. Alternate players' turn. So player A versus player A on the other opponent, then player B, then player B on the opponent thing. 2 standard actions per player on this one and 400 points. So work around that as well, guys. Each player builds a 200-point team for your 400-point team together. Highlander rules for the entire 2-man team. So if I play Bill, Agent of AIM, Amber can't play Bill, Agent of AIM. If I play Kyle Rayner, Amber can't play Kyle Rayner. Kind of get the idea? Theme teams only count if both players have the same themed keyword. Next, the 8-man pod, the brown bag sealed. First place gets a choice between, this is hilarious, an Icons factory set or an Explosion factory set. $5 entry on this one. Amber just went on the Explosion factory set. Everyone gets a bag with 10 figures, 5 carded, 5 non-carded. This is brilliant. You build a 400-point team using only the figures in your brown bag. Standard objects are allowed. I want video of that one too, guys, if you can send it to us. Patrick, please. Okay. So we've gone over some of this information, but let's just bring it again. Any tournament that's listed as Modern Age, and this is going to be Marvel and DC 10th to Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle of the Millennium. Rock of Ages format, Superman LOTR. I don't know what that. I think that's supposed to be Legion.
LOTR is Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but Superman / Lord of the Rings to Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle of the Millennium Month 1. Silver Age is Legion of Superheroes box set to Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's any carded figure, if you think about that. And Golden Age is go nuts. All these include, of course, all sets in between except for Star Trek trips. Leave your Star Trek ships at home! They belong on Star Trek maps, not on Heroclix. I have nothing against. I'm actually a big Trekkie. It's just, that was a weird thing to have Star Trek ships with Heroclix styles to me. Okay, now this is an important part for those of you unfamiliar with the ROC format. Orange rules are not in effect for anything. Any map whatsoever has orange rules, doesn't matter. Not using them for ROC format. Now, I want to point out, too, that there is some maps that aren't going to be allowed to be used in this, but I want to get started with this first. So, No Man's Land, the map that you're allowed to use, from No Man's Land month 1 to 6, Fear Itself month 1 to 6, AVX month 1 to 4, War of Light month 1 to 6, OP Kit Fast Forces starter maps from the following sets, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Superman, Legion of Superheroes, Invincible, Iron Man, Wolverine and the X-Men, Teen Titans, Amazing Spider-Man, Batman, Streets of Gotham. Movie starter set maps that include Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Man of Steel. Scenario packs maps from Fear Itself and War of Light, and the AVX starter maps. Indie tournament map lists include all Lord of the Rings maps, all Yu-Gi-Oh! Maps, Fast Forces maps from Kick-Ass 2, and, Bioshock Infinite. There's a number of rules that are just your standard stuff. If you have it, you gotta have the card. A die is considered cocked if it's off, all these kinds of standard things. Now there was another addendum that recently got added. Oh, for this tournament, guys, the watch list will not be in effect. It got out too late for them to operate the tournament on it. And then there was something else. Oh, the bounties. That's worth mentioning. Okay, so there's going to be more cool stuff. There's going to be 2 vendors selling singles and sealed product and supplies that you can get while you're getting prepared for your events. There'll be a trading-only table near the front where players who want to trade Heroclix can gather and trade in one place. There'll be a coverage reporter on the scene as well as a feature match area that they're hoping to have streaming live, which we will link on our Facebook page. Heads up, guys. And we'll also have a viewing section away from the feature area for those who want to watch the matches, so that you're not one of the worst things in the world to have somebody over your shoulder while you're trying to play. Okay, now there's going to be a special superhero supremacy showdown for teams. Each team must register their players with no 2 players, no maximum, before the start of round 1 of the main event. We'll tally the wins and losses for each player's team throughout the 4 main events. So they are actually going to, if you come with a team, so like if me and Amber were to go, we'd be team married with Clix. And then they'd do up our points and see how we do, and then they'd announce a team winner. Pretty cool thing. But this is I think, going to be the coolest part. There's going to be 6 bounties throughout the Saturday. Each player that I'm going to mention, I'm going to name these players, have 6 tokens unique to them only. Any player who defeats these players in either of the 3 events on Saturday will receive 1 of their tokens, if they have any left, of course. Some of them might be having a bad day. You can redeem these tokens for prizes at the end of the last tournament on Saturday night for prizes. The bounties can be redeemed. The guys with the bounties can redeem them as well, so that they can get their own stuff, which gives them incentive not to lose. Some of them have been. Oh yeah, so. Kevin Afruz is one of the bounties. 2014 Team World Champ, 2014 Dragon Con ROC Top 8, 2013 Golden Age Worlds Top 4, Salem, Oregon ROC Super Qualifier Champion. Also, the other Team World Champion, Justin Jimenez, 2014 Team World Champion, 2014 Dragon Con ROC Top 16, Modern Age Worlds Top 8 in 2013, Golden Age Worlds Top 16 in 2013, Las Vegas, Nevada ROC Super Qualifier Champion, and a Dragon Con ROC Super Qualifier Champion. Also going to be there, Jake Williams is going to have a set of bounties. Jake Williams, of course, being the 2013 Golden Age winner, 2014 Modern Age Worlds Top 16, 2016 DragonCon ROC Championship Top 4, and a 2013 DragonCon ROC Championship Top 4 as well, and a WonderCon ROC Super Qualifier Champion. Also on hand, Nick Peterson, 2014 Canadian National Champion, 2013 ROC DragonCon Champion, and 2014 Origins US National Champion in the National Championships Top 8. Also on hand, Dustin Hall, the WizKids Open San Diego, California Champion, 2012 Worlds Top 16, and 2011 Worlds Top 16. And also on hand, Rob Barzul, Western Canada 1K ROC Super Qualifier Champion, 2008 US National Champion, 2008 Wizard World LA Champion, 2006 Wizard World LA Champion, and 2011, 12, and 13 Worlds Top 16. So those 6 guys are going to have bounties on their head. They're going to have tokens. If you can beat one of them, you get one of their tokens. Use your tokens to get some prizes at the door. That's a very cool effect. There's going to be lodging nearby. Always check your Google. There's going to be food on hand. And that sounds like an amazing regionals, guys. I hope whoever gets out there has a lot of fun. It sounds like it would be very exciting. I also want to point out, too, 2 maps have come into question with regards to the ROC no orange rules, and they will not be allowed. They are banned. And that's going to be the AVX Surface of the Moon map and the War of Light space map. The reason for this, of course, is that there's elevated terrain issues with regards to the maps themselves, and they have rules with regards in the map that say ignore elevated terrain, but if you don't ignore that elevated terrain, there's no way to traverse the map, period, unless you have flight. So I think that's pretty much the reason they did it. So other than the watch list results being ignored, those 2 maps are banned. Guys, have a ton of fun while you're there. And I'd like to thank, once again, Majestix, one of our big sponsors this year for Married with Clix. Married with Clix is proudly sponsored by Majestix Comics, Collectibles, and Games, located in Costa Mesa, California, near the Orange County Fairgrounds. If you don't happen to live in the Costa Mesa, California area, though, you can check out their website, linked down below, MajestixCCG.com, where you can check out all kinds of stuff to shop for, their regular tournament listings if you happen to live in the area, or if you need to shop, they've always got some Heroclix stuff if you check out both their eBay store, which is linkable in the website, as well as their online store, which I believe should be having product added soon enough. Also, they keep regular articles written by some of the great minds in Heroclix, including Adam Friedman, the 2014 Heroclix Nationals champ, and of course, the owner of the store, Patrick Yabjoko, the 2014 Heroclix Worlds champ, 2014 Team Worlds champion, as well as the 2014 DragonCon ROC champion. Wow, that's quite a year he had last year. I think he's going to repeat it in 2015, right? So, don't forget to check the link down below, or check out the store if you live in the area.